Hey, I'm CDiinky. Alrighty guys, in today's video we are going to be going over what you guys will need in preparation to fight the Axel boss coming into the park in a couple of weeks. Axel is going to be the very first park boss inside of Granite 2, and he is by far not going to be the largest, as the devs have confirmed that he is the current largest boss in the game yet. So there is going to be much larger bosses down the track. If you find this information helpful in any way, go ahead and subscribe to the channel to show your support, and let's jump straight into what you need. So first we are going to start off with the Axel boss summoning recipe. Similar to Granite 1, you're going to need to find a recipe note somewhere in the park which contains the recipe to summon in the Axel boss. Now, where might we find the Axel boss summoning recipe? You may think it might be somewhere in the Pine Hill area. It might be inside of the Burgle Statue Lab, but I have a very strong suspicion that we are going to find the summoning recipe in Axel's empty terrarium, which you can go ahead and find and investigate currently inside of the game. Okay, updated CDiinky and future CDiinky here. I tried to get some background footage of the receipt, but it seems like the devs have completely wiped the receipt from the game. I remember the receipt being there. I am not going crazy. I have an image here. You can see before the patch update like a few weeks ago, there was in fact a receipt here that says like, thanks for your purchase of the Tarantula at like Dave's Pet Shop or something like that. But it seems like the devs have completely removed it, and this is what it looks like now in the current patch of the game. So now this pretty much just confirms 100% Axel's boss recipe is going to be inside of his terrarium, because why would they remove the receipt? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we now know where the location of Axel's boss recipe is going to be located, but what are going to be the ingredients needed to craft the summonable item? Big thanks for Chillax on Discord for finding this image in the game files. It is going to be called the Poach Roach Roast. It's a bit of a tongue twister, but it's going to include either roach head or roach parts and some slime ooze and maybe a third ingredient. Currently, there is going to be no super duper inside of the park to duplicate the boss summonable items, so what we are going to need to do is we are going to need to gather a bunch of cockroach heads or parts and a ton of snail slime or snail ooze to craft up as many Axel recipes as we possibly can to get all of his ingredients, to get his gold card, and to get his trinket. So what I would recommend for all players to do right now is to go into your world and just farm up a ton of roach parts and snail slime if you haven't already. Go ahead and take out the cockroach nymphs, the regular cockroaches, the baby garden snails, and the regular full-sized garden snails. Alright, so we have gone over the summoning recipe for Axel. Now let's talk about what weapons I would like to recommend for you guys to use when fighting Axel. Currently, we do not know if Axel is going to be weak or resistant to anything. I'm kind of hoping Axel will be resistant to everything similar to the old Black Widow in Granite 1, but it probably won't be, and it's most likely going to be weak to spicy and slashing damage, just like the wolf spider and the orb weavers inside of the park. So with that in mind, I'm going to highly recommend the very first weapon. You've probably guessed it already. The spicy Katana is going to be probably the go-to weapon when versing Axel, as the weapon does slashing and spicy damage, and if we are going off Axel being weak to those two elements, this weapon is going to be perfect for the fight. Another great weapon that may be good inside of Axel's boss fight is going to be the one-handed Crimson Avenger. If you do not want to rock a two-handed weapon like the spicy Katana, go ahead and get the Crimson Avenger weapon, which can be found inside of the Memorial Crate in the Pine Hill. This weapon also has the added bonus of spider criticals, which increases your critical hit chance against spiders by 10%, and considering Axel is going to be a giant tarantula, you're going to get this bonus in that fight, getting a ton of critical hits. And considering the weapon is going to be one-handed, that also allows us to rock the Scarlet Aegis, which not only is a heavy shield allowing us to block majority of Axel's attack, it also has the added bonus of parry buggy heal, so whenever we perfect block, our buggy is going to be healed. And if you did not know, the Axel boss fight was intended and designed around having a buggy in that fight. So if you know how to perfect parry well, your buggy will pretty much not die inside the fight unless Axel does some like crazy one-shot ability. It's also good to mention there is a bit of a scar or a scratch on Axel's back, which may be his only crit point inside of the fight, so it may be great to bring a bow along. If Axel is far away from you, you can try and hit that spot to get insane critical hit damage, although this is just speculation. Now let's quickly talk about what armor sets I would recommend bringing into the boss fight. We are going to be going over every single archetype armor set, so if you're in single player or in multiplayer, you can pick one of these archetypes and excel in the fight. Starting off with the Rogue archetype, I would highly recommend the entire Weaver armor set, as this gives you Rogue armor, which will increase your critical hit chance after doing a 3-hit combo, Dual Dasher for increased charge attack damage, and finally the set bonus of critical momentum, so you can have a stacking up to 5% crit chance until you get hit. The Ranger archetype, I would recommend the entire B armor set, as this gives you Ranger armor, which increases your weak point critical hit damage, more better draw, which increases your perfect draw timer, and the set bonus of Apex Pollinator, so charge attacks always release a cloud of pollen, slowing down Axel's move speed, so you have an easier time on hitting his crit spot. For the Mage archetype, I would recommend the entire Sizzling armor set, which has Mage armor, which decreases the amount of stamina you use with staffs, and also the set bonus of Wizzy Wizard, which increases your attack speed, stacking up to 5 times until you get hit. And finally, for the Fighter archetype, I would recommend the entire Roach armor set for the Fighter armor, so Axel is more likely to attack you, and the set bonus of Adaptive Resistances, so you gain increased venom reduction up to 5 times. For those wondering what trinkets to rock in the boss fight, I would recommend the Spectacular Spicy Shard, which means all of your melee attacks will have a flat amount of spicy damage, the Blistering Boiler, which means after every 3rd hit you're going to deal a AoE of sizzling damage, the Fancy Fletchling, which will just increase your quick draw timer when using bows, and for the Fighter archetype you can either use the Roach Rage, so when you are low on HP you gain increased attack damage, or the Cleaving Claw, so when you are low on HP you gain increased critical hit chance. The mutations I would recommend is going to be whatever archetype you're going to go down, use that weapon specific mutation. For example, if you're going to be mage, use the Whittle Wizard mutation. I would highly recommend the Mithridism mutation, which will decrease the venom buildup and the venom damage you take, as majority of Axel's attacks will do venom damage to you. You can use Reliable Friend if you are in a multiplayer session or a solo player session to revive your teammates faster or your buggy faster if they do go down. You can either use the Cardio Fan mutation for extra stamina, the Parry Mask mutation for extra stamina after a perfect block, or if you're a min-maxer and want the most amount of damage, if you have 25 gold cards you unlock the Trapper Peeper mutation, which will increase your critical hit damage by 20%. So hopefully the armor, the weapons, the mutations, and the trinkets do help you in the Axel boss fight. And now finally, I do need to tell you guys that Axel will in fact have 3 phases to his boss fight. The devs have confirmed when Axel goes down into his later stages and his later phases, he is going to do more aggressive and surprising attacks to the player, so just be careful. If Axel is going to be below half HP, just be prepared for him to do some surprising attacks, and we have seen him burrow underneath the arena, so he might burrow back up and do a one-shot ability. We have no idea just yet. For those people who want stuff confirmed for the Axel Tarantula boss, just wait until September 1st. We might get more information, as the ground developers are going to be at PAX, and they might show us new things about the Axel Tarantula boss fight, and possibly even a PTB, so we can play the update early. But that there is going to be the end of today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and if you have enjoyed today's video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and heck, even a comment down below. I would really appreciate it. And now a massive shout out to my channel members and my tier 3 members, the Stitchman, Idiot Plays, Coco, Was, Janky, and Nano. I appreciate you guys a lot. And with all that said, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video.